This is the AB4WS radio show. Every week, bringing you the exciting amateur radio news and information happening in the greater Cincinnati, Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana areas.
The AB4WS radio show can be found on the Apple Podcast app or your favorite podcast application. Amateur radio operators ages 25 and younger will be on the air as special event stations around the world throughout December in celebration of youth and amateur radio. YOTA month stations will be on all bands and all modes at various times. QSL and award information is at events.ham-yota.com. In the United States this year, the call signs will once again be K8Y, K8O, K8T, and K8A. Argentina will be active as LR1YOTA, and Canada as VE3YOUTH, VE2YOTA, and VA7YOTA, and El Salvador is YS1YOTA. Amateur radio operators should be encouraged to listen for and contact these stations as well as call signs ending in the letters YOTA across the globe. Last year, young hams worldwide surpassed their goal of 100,000 QSOs in the month of December with a final tally of 107,845 QSOs. Overlapping with YOTA month is round 3 of the YOTA contest, which is on December 30th, 2023 from 1200 hours to 23:59 hours UTC. More information about YOTA month specifically in the Americas can be found on youthontheair.org. Applications are now being accepted for campers interested in attending the Youth on the Air camp. Licensed amateur radio operators ages 15 through 25 who want to attend are encouraged to apply online at youthontheair.org. The camp is scheduled to take place July 7th through July 12th, 2024 at the Mount St. Vincent University campus in Halifax, Nova Scotia, Canada. For best chance of being selected, applications should be submitted by 23:59 Zulu on January 15, 2024. The campers will be selected by a working group and notified by February 1st. To encourage attendance across the Americas, allocations for campers are being held open for various areas of North, Central, and South America. If countries do not use their allocation, or should someone within an allocation decline acceptance, those positions will be fulfilled from the remaining pool of applicants. As this will be an ongoing process, everyone will not receive notification of acceptance at the same time. Preference will be given to first-time attendees. Applications will continue to be accepted through May 31st. The application process fee is a $100 US dollar deposit required upon acceptance. Should a potential camper be unable to pay the $100 deposit, he or she may apply for a scholarship or waiver. Campers are also responsible for their own arrival and departure transportation to the camp location. Travel assistance may also be available, especially for those traveling from outside of the USA and Canada. Travel during camp events is provided. Up to 50 campers will be accepted. Returning attendees will serve as leaders during the camp. Potential campers that reside outside of Canada are encouraged to begin the process of obtaining the necessary passport and appointment to obtain a tourist visa where applicable. Now, as the processing times may extend into several months. Radio Amateurs of Canada is the local host for the 2024 YOTA camp. For details about the camp, visit the camp webpage at youthontheair.org. For additional information, please contact Camp Director Neil Rabb, WB9VPG at director@youthontheair.org. Jack Shirley, N8DX, is the QSL Card Sorter for District 8 QSL Card Buro. He is looking for volunteers to assist in being ARRL QSO Bureau Card Sorters. If you would like to check out volunteering for this, email Jack at w8buro@gmail.com. The ARRL Scholarship application process is now opened. More than 100 scholarships are being offered by the ARRL, ranging from $500 to $25,000, and will be awarded in 2024. Applicants must be active FCC licensed amateur radio operators and complete the online application no later than January 10, 2024. For more information, go to arrl.org/scholarship-program. Congratulations to Woody Hartlove, KO4UMQ, for being named the Harlan County Amateur Radio Operator of the Year for 2023. The week of December 6th through December 12th, the volunteers on the air W1AW portable operations are Louisiana, W1AW/5, Illinois, W1AW/9, and Hawaii, W1AW/KH6. For more information on volunteers of the air, go to vota.arrl.org. On December 13th, from 3 p.m. to 5:30 p.m., the Harlan County High School Amateur Radio Club, KY4HCS, is holding a CQ Santa Net, where kids can tell Santa what they want for Christmas over ham radio. The 18th year of the Santa Net on 3.916 megahertz has begun and starts at 8 p.m. Eastern Time every night until Christmas Eve, December 24th. Pete Thompson, KE5GGY of the 3916 Nets, commented that what started 18 years ago as a small gathering on Christmas Eve has grown over the years. This year they expect to connect over 1,000 kids with Santa Claus. Youngsters talk to Santa over the radio via strategically placed operators who relay the voice of Santa. The dedication by the members of the 3916 Net is the reason for the longevity of the Santa Net. Besides connecting youngsters with Santa, this introduction to amateur radio is something that kids never forget. Often this is the push needed for the kids and their parents to work to obtain their amateur radio license and join the hobby. For more information on the Santa Net, go to www.cqsanta.com, and for the 3916 Nets, go to www.3916nets.com. Brunch Bunch will be meeting on December 9th at 1 p.m. at the Bob Evans Restaurant, 6318 Glenway Avenue in Western Hills. Come out and join the group. The Central Kentucky Amateur Radio Club will be celebrating their Christmas dinner on December 9th at 4 p.m. Central Time at the Black Stallion Steakhouse, 150 Walker East Road in Columbia, Kentucky. On December 11th, 2023, the Northern Kentucky Amateur Radio Club will hold their holiday dinner meeting at the Golden Corral Restaurant, 4770 Houston Road in Florence, Kentucky at 6:30 p.m. Please RSVP at k4co@ymail.com. All hams and their families are invited. Come and thank the outgoing officers for their work through the years and welcome in the new incoming officers of the club. On December 11th is Xenia Weather Amateur Radio Net, known as XWARN, will have their Feliz Navidad holiday dinner meeting at the Acapulco Restaurant at 88 Xenia Town Square, Xenia, Ohio at 6:30 p.m. On December 12th, the Mason County Amateur Radio Association will hold their Christmas party at Greg's Pizza with some door prizes donated by Walmart and a home-built G5 RV and QB25 donated by Mike, KN4COE. On December 15th, the Queen City Emergency Net will hold their holiday party at the Red Cross Building, 2111 Dayton Avenue in Cincinnati, Ohio. Gathering will start at 6 p.m. and food will be served at 6:30 p.m. They also have invited the Cincinnati FM Club to attend their holiday party. The Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club is once again offering online classes to pass the FCC General Class exam. Classes will be held via Zoom on 6 Sunday afternoon from 1:30 p.m. to 4 p.m. First class will start on January 14th. The classes are free and available to all interested hams with a technician class license or studying to complete their technician class license by the end of the classes. Class materials will be distributed via Google Classroom, and the suggested book is the General License Course Study Guide 2023 to 2027 edition, available at hamradioschool.com. For more information, go to tiny.cc/BAHAMG. On December 21st, the Kentucky Digital Voice Groups have gathered together to experiment with a combined D-Star DMR, Yaesu Fusion, P25, and Echolink net, a true multi-mode digital and analog voice net. For now, this will just be an experiment to use for special events or in the event of an emergency where all forms of communications might come together in one place. Another great tool to have in the old ham radio toolbox. What is being billed as the Kentucky Christmas multi-mode digital voice net will begin to take early check-ins on December 21st at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, with the net officially starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. How is this possible? Well, it all started out as an open-source XLX project, which started with just D-Star and DMR, but as it had matured and was tested, Yaesu Fusion C4FM was added. How does it work? Well, you might say you have a DMR radio. Your signal goes from your DMR radio to your personal hotspot, which is connected to the XLX server over the internet. The XLX server transcodes your signal into all other digital voice modes and transmits them out to the other radios connected to the network. There is some latency involved, so it is important to wait 3 to 5 seconds between each transmission. So how do you connect? Well, if you have a DMR radio and a hotspot on Brandmeister DMR network, it's as simple as transmitting on talk group 3121232. Just that easy. You can also connect directly to XLX 721 server over DMR DMR by connecting your hotspot to XLX721 Module A. You will then use talk group 6 on your radio to communicate between the hotspot and your radio. For a DMR repeater connected to a C bridge, just add the talk group 3121232 in time slot 2, most often on your repeater. Key up once to connect, and then you can talk after that. If the repeater is silent for 10 minutes, the talk group will be disconnected and you'll have to reconnect by keying the mic up again on that talk group. For those using D-Star radio, connect your D-Star hotspot to DCS721 Alpha. Just key up and then go to Use Reflector in the UR field of your radio. And now you are included in the conversation. If you're using your Yaesu radio, perhaps an FT5D, well, set your hotspot to connect to YSF 51149. Key the mic and you are in the conversation as well. Echolink users would connect to KY4RW-L. This entire system is the work of Ray, KY4RW, who with the help of Larry, NN4H, have put this multi-mode system together and worked out many of the bugs. Remember, this system, minus the Echolink connection, is available anytime. So go ahead and connect up. You got a friend with a Fusion radio and you have D-Star. You can use this multi-mode XLX721 reflector to communicate with each other. Check it out. The Ohio DMR Net will not be held on December 25th or January 1st due to the holidays. The incoming leadership of the Northern Kentucky Amateur Radio Club has made resuming VE testing a top priority of their future goals. Mark Volstead will be appointed to chair this VE testing committee in January, but he is already working on making this a reality. This is one of the most important services that an amateur radio club can offer and is a vital source in recruiting new members. But it can only happen with enough volunteers to serve as volunteer examiners who can work together as a team to accomplish the task. Ideally, the volunteers should hold an extra class license, but any class can help by serving on the VE team. Training to become a certified VE will be provided. If you would like to help grow the Northern Kentucky Amateur Radio Club and move the organization in a new positive direction by becoming part of the volunteer examiner team, email Mark, AI4BJ at AI4BJ@ARRL.net. Mark can also answer any questions you might have about being a volunteer examiner and the direction the team is planning to go. Winter Heat 2024 is coming soon. Winter Heat is a month-long VHF-UHF Simplex event designed to provide participants a chance to make as many Simplex contacts as possible during the month of January. Registrations are now open at hamactive.com/signup/index.php. Robert Gully, K4PKM, has decided to bring back the Newcomers Net on the first and third Sundays of each month at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on the 146.670 repeater with a PL tone of 123.0. Robert will lead the net, allowing time for questions from new hams, and will also have a topic for each net as well. This is a great net for new hams to get accustomed to checking into and participating in amateur radio nets and have their questions answered. Mark your calendar for the first and third Thursdays of each month at 7 p.m.
Do you know where the action's at?
Well, this is where the action's at. Frequently I am asked, Jack, where is the activity on the bands? I don't hear anyone on the air when I'm listening. Well, if this is you, a new segment every week on the AB4WS radio show will be Where the Action Is. This weekly segment will show and spotlight particular nets and networks where you can usually find activity on your radio. If you are looking for action, go no further than America's Kansas City-wide. This network of digital repeaters provides VHF and UHF coverage across the greater Kansas City area with digital access available to any ham radio operator in the world via Yaesu, System Fusion, C4FM, D-Star, DMR, and P25 networks. In the greater Cincinnati area, tune your Yaesu C4FM System Fusion radio to 146.760 Milford Amateur Radio Club repeater, which is connected full-time over Yaesu Wires X network to the America Kansas City-wide Wires X room 28054. Don't have a Fusion radio? Well, connect to the system over D-Star via XLX458 reflector using XRF458 Alpha. DMR is available over Brandmeister DMR network by connecting Brandmeister Talk Group 313136. P25 access is available on reflector 31313. URL is p25.ddns.me on port 41002. you. If you have a hotspot in a C4 FM radio as well, you can connect to either of these two YSF 32453, known as USKC Wide, or YSF 28054, labeled XLX458. If you have no access to any of those, well, there's always EchoLink. Connect to W0FH-L. What will you find once you connect? Well, action, that's for sure. Besides the normal amateur radio communication, they host over 30 nets weekly. Some of my personal favorites are Let's Talk Digital with Bucky, W0SUN, on Thursday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, where Bucky, a real expert on all things digital, answers questions and helps users correct issues and problems. On Wednesday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, Daryl, WX4QZ, leads the Raspberry Pi and Hotspot Net. Looking for something a little less technical? Well, check in with David, W9DJM, who runs the Windy City Net on Monday afternoons at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Or then there's Alice, KI5ERV, with Alice's Restaurant Net on Wednesdays at 5:30 Eastern Time. Or the local favorite, the Worldwide Trivia Net with Ron, AC8MA, on Monday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. This network is packed with action, and their website, kansascityroom-y.com, provides a complete list of all the information on the group, nets, and how to connect to this busy network. This is certainly a place where the action is. If you have a suggestion on where the action is, email it to ab4ws.radio@gmail.com. For a monthly list of ham radio activities, please email Mark Landis, KD8ZLD, at MRLANDIS@yahoo.com, and get on the email list for a complete list of amateur radio nets, events, DX opportunities, contests, and items of interest to Cincinnati area ham radio operators.
Hamfests.
On January 14, 2024, is the Sunday Creek Amateur Radio Federation Hamfest at the Shade Community Center, 2380 Old US 33 in Shade, Ohio. For more information, contact KC8QDQ.
Are you looking to upgrade your license? Do you have someone else that's interested in the hobby? Here are some upcoming exam opportunities.
The Milford Amateur Radio Club holds amateur radio testing on the third Thursday of each month at 6 p.m. at the Miami Township Civic Center, 6101 Meyer Drive in Milford, Ohio. Please pre-register at milfordhamradio.org. The Dayton Amateur Radio Association has exams frequently. For their exam schedule, email exams.w8bi@gmail.com. On December 9th at 10 a.m., there'll be an amateur radio license exam session sponsored by the Westchester Amateur Radio Association at the Voice of America Museum, 8070 Tylersville Road in Westchester, Ohio. Please pre-register at hamstudy.org/session/WC8VOA. On January 13, 2024, at 10 a.m., there'll be an amateur radio license exam session sponsored by the Westchester Amateur Radio Association at the Voice of America Museum, 8070 Tylersville Road in Westchester, Ohio. Please pre-register at hamstudy.org/sessions/WC8VOA. On January 13, 2024, at 10 a.m., there'll be an amateur radio testing session at the Clark County Emergency Operations Center, 200 Maryland Drive in Winchester, Kentucky. Please pre-register at hamstudy.org/sessions/AC4YD. For more information, contact Daryl Epperson, AC4YD, at 859-771-1834. On January 23, 2024, at 6 p.m., there'll be an amateur radio testing session at the Anderson County Extension Building. Use the rear entrance, lower level, at 1026 County Park Road in Lawrenceburg, Kentucky. For more information, contact Brian Carter, KI4TLW, at 502-545-0376. On January 27, 2024, at 10 a.m., there'll be an amateur radio testing session sponsored by the Wilderness Road Amateur Radio Club at the American Legion Post number 46 at 45 Spears Lane in Danville, Kentucky. Please pre-register at hamstudy.org/sessions. For more information, contact Carol Miller, AF6MB, at 541-602-6535. The Western Kentucky DX Association will sponsor an amateur radio license testing session on February 4th, 2024 at 2 p.m. at the Woodman Life Building, 519 Old Morgantown Road in Bowling Green, Kentucky. For more information, email Henry, W4HTB, at W4HTB@IEEE.org or call him at 270-793-4822. On February 10th, 2024 at 10 a.m., the Bluegrass Amateur Radio Society will be giving an amateur radio license exams at the Red Cross Building, Classroom A, 1450 Newtown Pike in Lexington, Kentucky. Please pre-register at hamstudy.org/session/KE4MAI. For more information, contact Fernie Williams, KE4MAI, at 859-536-3393. On February 10, 2024 at 10 a.m., there'll be an amateur radio license exam session sponsored by the Westchester Amateur Radio Association at the Voice of America Museum, 8070 Tylersville Road in Westchester, Ohio. Please pre-register at hamstudy.org/session/WC8VOA. On March 9, 2024 at 10 a.m., there'll be an amateur radio license exam session at the Georgetown Police Department, 550 Bourbon Street in Georgetown, Kentucky. Please pre-register at hamstudy.org/session/WX4GPS. For more information, contact Ron Malinowski, WX4GPS at 502-542-8252. Special thanks to this week's content contributors, WB8YYS, KD8ZLD, K9HIO, N8LAR, K4NKU.
If you have something you think other amateur radio operators in the area would be interested in, send the information or your recorded audio file attached in an email to ab4ws.radio@gmail.com.
Covering your amateur radio news and information in the greater Cincinnati, Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana area, this is Jack Prindle, AB4WS in Big Bone, Kentucky.